My name is Fred Ackers Jr. I wrote the book The Jewel of the Sea Remastered, and you can find it on blurb.com. So when did I first writing? It had to take me back to when I was young. In middle school and high school, a lot of projects you have to do, and I liked writing different stories. And the one that brought to my attention was a PSSA test. I don't know if you know about the PSSA test, but if you're in Pennsylvania, there's like reading, writing, and math. But the writing one, the biggest question they said was describe your first fear. So I went in detail on describing my first roller coaster ride, which surprisingly is also in Wildwood on Maurice Piers. It was the Great Nor'eastern. And I wrote it with my aunt, Julie Okrushinsky, who just recently passed away. But I described in detail the full intents of the ride, and I got a perfect score. Since I did that throughout high school and then also into college too, I took another writing class, and I was getting creative. He said to write a report on different things in the area. So I went and did some research, and I wrote about old amusement parks that were in the area, like Hazel Park, Angela Park, which actually my mom used to work for them back in the day. And I also got a perfect score with that assignment as well. And I figured, well, I could be really creative with this and maybe get a future into writing different books. So The Jewel of the Sea starts off with my main character, Frederick, who's a bank manager for the Black Diamond City Bank. Now, by day, he's just a normal, average working man. But at night, he turns into something else. A vigilante called Nightshade. And his goal is to stop the Syndicate from taking over the world. Their goal is to harness powers from different jewels and crystals for their weapons. The first jewel that they're after is the Jewel of the Sea. So, Nightshade has to try to find that jewel before they do. So what was my idea behind the book? So originally, I wanted to make it a comic book. Because, you know, a lot of superheroes, you gotta have that comic book feeling. But looking into the prices of doing that, it's just not feasible. Until you hire a graphic designer, person to draw the character, and how you want it, a colorist, you're spending thousands of dollars that you probably don't have. So I did try to change my book a little bit, and I changed it into a reading book. But I didn't just want the words. I wanted something to go along with it. I figure I go on vacation, I go to my place of interest, which is Wildwood, which is my inspiration for the book. I figured if I take the pictures, I could use them in my book. And that's exactly what I did. And all of a sudden it came together, and I got my first book called The Jewel of the Sea. There was a lot of challenges I encountered with writing the story. Originally, the first plot, I thought, okay, it was basing on a jewel. It didn't add expectations when I first wrote the book. So I was like, I'm running into a writer's block. So then my brother-in-law, Ryan Boyle, I talk to him frequently, and he's helped me come up with different ideas for the stories. He said my story wasn't bad, but you got to add a little more meat to it, a lot of more suspense and a lot of more like action to it. So he helped me kind of bounce off some ideas, and I thank him for this. And it finally came to fruition. Well, I want to basically tell the story about this company going after these jewels and trying to stop them, but I add more suspense to the story, like maybe like an armed car scenery, something's going to happen, and then work it from there. And then once we did that, the book kind of created a shape and created different form into it where I think the readers will definitely enjoy. So the cover design, I was looking online because I know I wanted something to do with the lighthouse of the story. So I went across Facebook, and I came across this company called Get Cover Designs. They're actually a graphic design company based in the Ukraine. So I was going through on their website, and I saw that they did extraordinary work at a reasonable price. So for $35, I was like, why not take the gamble and see what they can come up with me? I tell them the information of the book, what I wanted on the book, as well as the picture of the lighthouse that I actually took. And they put it all together and made a stunning cover. And let me tell you, it was it was worth the price. As a matter of fact, I'm hiring them for the rest of my series as well. In the pictures, I got a little creative because Wildwood, it's just an island by itself. I want the full Jersey Shore experience, so I also wanted Cape May. So a couple of the actual places you will recognize, they're real. Except I had to change their names a little bit to save myself from copyright issues. So that was the way I created the book itself. All the pictures I have taken, except for the one that was a Victorian house. I did get the rights online to use that picture. So that was fine as well. And it became a masterpiece. So the lead character, Nightshade / Frederick, I kind of based a little bit off myself. I know that's wrong. If you're writing someone, you should create something completely different that's not you. This maybe could be my alter ego. But some of the aspects in life that helped create the persona was, I'll give an example. I was never really good at dating. I always got cheated and left. So my character, I wrote a background where he gets left at the altar. And it's Shane Stone, who's another one of the villains in the character, that helped cause this. To cause her to leave him at the altar. And he doesn't know this until a couple of books down the line. I'm not going to spoil to you when that's going to happen, but it will. So you're going to have to read the stories to find out what truly happened to him back in the day. And then he vows vengeance. And then the same villain, Shane Stone, who's basically he's a wrestling character actually. My friend I used to work with at EGW, AFCW. So I talked to him about this. It's like, I use you persona as a villain for my character. He's like, why not? Go for it. I was like, I can create you in a really badass kind of way. And then I have his character kill the kid by accident, which causes my main character, Nightshade, to go off. And it's like, why did this happen? You know, kid died in your arms, and you feel sorry for him. So he vows he wants to take this person out by any means necessary. My bad. And that's how the story will progress itself. And then you meet the other villain, Eric Adams. Now he's also actually placed one of my wrestling buddies, Bobby Mesa, who actually also wrote a book, WDIE, if you could find it online. It's kind of hard now, but he's going to try to do it again. But I was working with him on a project, and his wrestling persona I liked. I was like, I could picture him as a villain in this too. So this is quite a couple of years of thinking before it became an actual book. I was like, how do I make this character? Let's just make him the leader. And then, you know, he's going to have his own stooges or henchmen. So Shane Stone's actually one of his stooges. And this creates something big based off of real life people. Which there's no way that my friend that plays Eric Adams in the book, his real name is Bobby Mesa, but he's an awesome guy, awesome friend. That could be his alter ego. I mean, if he's acting, he's a great actor too as well. So that would be a cool actor if this ever becomes like a movie or like a video game. He would fit the bill perfectly for it. And some of the other characters I base around part of my wrestling background, where some of the wrestlers, they have their own different personas. And they work their personas all around the different states, but that's not them in real life. They're actually hardworking people. They work 9-to-5 jobs, and they basically get through life the best they could. And I was like, well, if I worked some of them into actual characters in the story, this could be something truly big. And it takes a life of its form from there. So the location to get my inspiration was definitely when I went to Wildwood with my family. My grandmother used to love going down there. My aunt, well, both my aunts actually, all our cousins. We all used to go down there, and we used to go and enjoy the boardwalk. So that was one of the inspirations for one of the settings, was the one ship that they actually put on Maury's Piers. I decided to work that actually into the story, just as a little tribute to them, because they do a lot throughout the years. They change things around, but they make it fun. That island's been nothing but fun and great memories. I remember used to chasing the seagulls on the sand. Got myself lost once. I was chasing the seagulls, but I was smart enough to go to the Baywatch lifeguard, as I called them. And then they found my mom. She was pretty upset with me at that time. Also playing miniature golf and stuff with the family. It's just a lot of good memories there. And I hope that island continues to bring everyone to it, to enjoy it just like I do. That's why I wanted to give back and make them the focal point setting of my first book, The Jewel of the Sea. The genre that I have the most fun writing in, I believe, is like an action adventure type of book, along with a little bit of crime. Because you gotta throw a little spice into the book in order to keep the person's attention throughout the story. I know I want to pull your attention by making you want to see what happens next, rather than, oh, okay, I'm done for the night, and maybe I'll pick off some other time. I want to take your attention and keep it, so you'll want to keep on reading the book to see what happens until you're finally done with it. So my opinion on a writer's block is it's 100% reality. Because there's some times where you want the story to go in one direction, but then you hear, well, maybe you should put it in this perspective, or maybe you can go this route, or maybe you could change a character to go this direction, and you kind of mix yourself with so many opportunities that can go either way that could leave everybody guessing. So writer's block is indeed 100% real. I believe it. I get it. I know a lot of people that write books as well. They do get 100% of the time. But it can be overcome once you focus on where you really want the book to go and position of the characters and the settings. Once you get a good map of it, then you're all set. So I do have a day job, but I actually work for a bank, so that's what got me the idea for my guy to be a banker. So then at night, after I eat supper and think about different ideas, I always carry around a notebook with me, anywhere I go, even with work. And if I see something or hear something, I'll just jot it down. It could be something stupid, it could be something relevant. And it can give me inspiration to write something about. Also, hearing about other people's different journeys or where they go on vacation and stuff also gives me ideas to work with. I just jot it down, even if it's silly, even if it's good. I bounce ideas back and forth, while I'm enjoying supper and also watching TV. And then watching some of the TV as well also gave me ideas. There's a lot of different TV sitcoms that come and gone. I know one back in the day that helped inspire my character in the story was MacGyver. I don't know if you know about MacGyver and all of his antics throughout the years. And then another TV series came on a while back called Burn Notice, about a spy that got burnt. And there was a government involvement with it. So that also kind of helps to make shape of the series that I'm writing right now. So I got some inspiration actually while just enjoying supper, reading different stories, and watching a little bit of TV. It could bounce off different ideas and help inspire something definitely new. So The Jewel of the Sea is only the tipping point of my series, as I already have 3 other books also available on blurb.com. They are called Collision Course, Lure of the Storm, and The Reign of Eldon. So this series will take place in Black Diamond City, which is a fictitious city comprised of, well, I'll tell you the truth, it's really Wilkes-Barre mixed with Allentown, my town of Freeland. So all 3, I get inspiration from being around my surroundings. And I create a little havoc. And then I branch out to a different city where this group wants to continue to try to take over the world, and my guys try to stop them. And then they get a little mad, and my guy will irk them some more until they send somebody to try to assassinate him. And then also, let's throw a little crime boss syndicate in there as well, and make it a lot more interesting to see where this is going to take place, and what's really going to happen. And then eventually, the story will shift, after the 6th or 7th book I have, that I'm working on right now. It's going to shift to Sin City, which, in reality, is based on a real city called Las Vegas. And that's where my character finds out that there's a lot more to the syndicate than he thought. He just thought it was only on the East Coast. And he finds out it's a lot bigger than what he thought it was. That it could lead all the way up to the government. And how do you stop the government? You really don't. You just gotta find a way to get by. But I threw a couple twists in there, and I'm not gonna explain them just yet. You're going to have to tune into all these books to see what actually happens to them, to see how the government is involved, and to see if Nightshade could indeed stop the syndicate once and for all. So my book, right now currently you can find the 4 of them on blurb.com. I am in the process of making a website called fredrickackers.com. Right now it's not live yet, so the way to get in contact with me is through Facebook or my email, fredrickackers@yahoo.com. There's a couple events coming up, and I'd like to share with you. One is the Bloomsburg Fair. A lot of people know the Bloomsburg Fair. It's been there God knows how many years, ever since I was little. And they have a booth there called Author's Booth. Now, it's in the Arts and Crafts building. I would advise anyone to come up and visit. There's a lot of great authors. Myself will be there, including selling our books throughout the whole fair week. Also, Donald Marino, who helped me get a part of that too, with Andy Schechter. He owns a company called Authors Inc. Now, they just had authors in the park here in my town of Freeland, but he's also doing other projects as well. So another one would be authors for the holidays that he's getting together up in the Wilkes-Barre area. Details will be coming soon on Facebook and all social media posts. I'd like you to tune in for that too as well. I'm also in talks. I sent a message out to actually the Lighthouse in Wildwood in hopes that they would return my email. I'd like to get a book signing out there actually at the Lighthouse and donate some of the proceeds to the Lighthouse. I think that would be really cool. Just for me to give back to the island that gave me so much joy and to help process of writing my book. So I have a couple things lined up, but you have to stay tuned to my Facebook page, Fred Ackers. You'll never know where I'm going to tune in and where I'm going to show up. I might show up online. Back in 2005, I was on an episode of MTV Made, Season 5, Episode 12, if you could find it. I know the first 15 minutes is online somewhere, and I'm not sure where the archives went afterwards because the show eventually did get canceled. But I thought our episode was fun, and I actually do have a copy of it actually on VHS. So when I get it into DVD, at least I could reminiscence in the memories of that. Because acting, I also like doing acting too as well. So you'll also catch me doing wrestling events as well. I show up for PPW, AFCW, EHW, Extreme Hybrid Wrestling too as well. I do commentary as well as helping out with video production, helping out with the music, make sure the show runs smoothly for their pay-per-view events or live shows on YouTube. So you never know where you're going to find me and where my book's going to pop up, but it will. And I suggest you guys check it out and read it. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me, and I hope to see you down the road.